Yes. Good afternoon. Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to the Alzheimer Europe Conference. And you were guided in gently on the sound of the violin by Saskia Meijs. You were already asking us what's the name of the artist because you say the music is beautiful. So compliments are rolling in already. Thank you so much for that. I have a very special honor. Next to me is Jean-Georges. Welcome. Hi.
Nice to see you. Very nice to have a different setup than last year where I was only seeing you from my camera, whereas now it's live in the studio.
Exactly. I was there in the passenger terminal looking at a screen. There was your face, but now we are together. That's great. So many of you requested us to present the Eurovision Song Contest together. We didn't manage that, but we managed this. So for 3 days, we will be hosting the Alzheimer Europe Conference together. And it's an important one. The theme of the conference is resilience in dementia and moving forward from the COVID-19 pandemic. But a little further forward, I would say, right, Jean?
I think we were a bit optimistic when we set the theme of this conference. Moving beyond the pandemic was really hoping that we would be at a stage where we could really think about how to change our healthcare systems without dealing with the pandemic.
Exactly.
But that's definitely not the case yet. But what we really want to focus on at this conference is about how people with dementia, carers, healthcare professionals, social care professionals, researchers, academics, how the industry, how everybody has dealt with the pandemic, and also trying to focus on some of the positives.
Of course,
that,
lessons learned
pandemic as well. Yeah.
Yes, and they are, and we're still learning, but we can also reflect and. Sure. So we are moving forward, right? That's
Absolutely,
the case.
Yes,
so and what we want to do, because we will have a lovely program, you'll learn more about that later, and we'll have more music, and I'll talk to Saskia later. You can during the days. All the time, let yourself be heard, because you can ask questions, you can post comments, and we would really love you to be on Twitter as well, because you are very active there, Jean.
I think the whole conference is already really well represented on Twitter. The hashtag is 31AEC.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have already used it. Even people saying that we're really looking forward to coming to the conference or to attending the conference. Some of them have already posted pictures of their dogs, pets, and cats.
Which we have to explain this, because that has a short history. Because last year somebody started that. You asked them to show their cats and dogs. So please do that again. Or your fish, is that also good? Birds?
Absolutely. I think this time we have chicken.
Chicken.
So that's a new addition to the pets of Alzheimer Europe.
Any animal is cheered on. So and where you are, or pictures from you watching the conference, anything goes for Twitter. It's not about just us finding each other there, but it is also very good to make Alzheimer well known, or not, and what to do with it. So, and we also have of course, your platform where you can answer polls and you can ask questions and comments. To start that off, we have a first poll asking you, who are you? Which is a great, who are you? Who are you, Jean?
Well, you actually have a choice here, because the question is, are you a person with dementia, a carer of somebody looking after somebody, a health or social care professional? Are you a volunteer or staff of an Alzheimer association? Because after all, that's the network that we represent. Are you a researcher, academic, and then also a policymaker or government official or other? And we already have some answers
rolling
to that question.
So you can now vote. Please do so, because we really like it. Yes, what you see is most of them are researcher or academic.
And we already have over 100 people that have responded to this. So this
more.
is definitely not just a bunch of people that are sitting in their office listening, but they are willing to tell us who they are and what they are doing.
Exactly, and we really like that. But we want to know more. If you don't mind, we want to know a little more about you, because we would love to know where you are. Because we are here. We are in the city of Utrecht, which is hard to pronounce when you're not Dutch. Can you say it?
Let's try Utrecht.
Oh, good. Very good.
Goedemiddag. I can even say that, so there you go.
He's been practicing. He's really, really good. It's in the middle of Holland, and we're very happy here. Nice view. But where are you? That's our question. So let's see if we're getting some results already.
Again, you had the choice between, are you connecting from home, from your office, a lab or research setting? Even we were thinking whether some people might be traveling, being on a train, a bus or a boat.
1%
or somewhere else. Yes, it's not that many. Yeah. But also this really goes to show as well that we probably would have thought that more people are connecting these days from the office rather than from home, because we were hoping to be beyond the pandemic rather than still within the pandemic. But 80% of people that are watching our conference this year are still connecting from home again.
From home again, maybe because they have to, right? Sure. That's probably the case. So if you want to add a comment, that's also very possible. In your screen, you see also a tab called Social Q&A. So that is where you enter questions. But feel free to comment there as well. If you want to say something like you just did, saying beautiful music, 21 votes, love that. You can do that too, or a great beginning, or what's the name of the artist, Saskia Meijs again. And 4 people want to know, can you also be both a family member and a researcher?
Of course, like all the kind of categories that we have, people can be more than one category, but maybe they can pick the one category that they feel most or closest to.
Of course. So what you just do is you hit the button that says ask, and there you can ask a question or say something, shout out something. And if you like a comment or a question from somebody else who entered that, you can just click a little heart, which is nice. And then we know what you find is most important to ask our speakers or to comment on. You said a beautiful city. Ireland says that Utrecht is a lovely city, so that's good.
That's good. Well, and they're right as well. Even if they haven't been here, I can confirm that they're right. This is a great city.
Right. So if you've just logged in, welcome again to everybody entering the conference room virtually. I am here with Jean and Georges, and we are very happy that you are talking to us. We want to find out a bit about the loyalty of the conference visitor. So the next question is, how many times did you attend the conference before?
And the options are that this could be your very first Alzheimer Europe conference. It could also be that you attended last year's virtual conference, so this is your second conference of Alzheimer Europe. But it could also be that you already attended both in-person conferences and other conferences as well. And we can see the results as well, which is fantastic. A third of people that are connecting are really connecting for the first time.
Yes.
Which is really nice to see that people are, we are able to get new people to attend our conference.
Yeah.
We also have about 2/3 of the people that have attended the conference in one way or another.
And they came back, so that is very good. Now let's have a party of the cities. That question is open now, and that will take a little longer probably to answer, but we really would love to know. Let's see. I have the most people in Maastricht so far.
Absolutely,
in the south,
yes. Looks like
the Netherlands.
Yes. Malta is doing well as well. So the bigger the letters of the city or so, the more people are actually.
Malta's not a city. Malta, Valletta, right?
Yes.
Valletta is the capital, but maybe in another city in Malta. So what do we have here? Leiden, Limerick. That's nice.
But also Luxembourg.
Estonia.
I'm quite happy that the people in my office are still watching as well. So that's always good to know. That they're not just sitting at home and not doing anything.
Now they're your fans probably. Enschede. F-Camp, I don't know what that is. Funchal is Madeira or Mallorca.
We have Iceland as well. We have quite a few Dutch cities. Funchal in Madeira, as you say. Denmark, German cities. So very nice mix.
So it is still kind of a Eurovision Song Festival, right? We will just handle it like that. We are so happy that you're all Aberdeen, that you all are here. Well, the last question for now, let's see, because that is important. Which of the virtual conference aims are most important to you? So that is what we really want to serve, of course, what people want and need in their profession. So can you please answer that poll?
And it's also really because we don't just want you to sit at home and listen, but we really want you also to interact with us, make sure that all the comments that you are actually sharing with us.
Yeah.
But the options that you have is that you want to listen and interact with plenary speakers, that you want to maybe find out more about the sponsors and other partners and projects that are in the virtual exhibition. Networking also with other conference attendees could be something important.
Yes.
Also, if you're presenting yourself, you might be doing that not just so that you can present, but also to get feedback from some other participants.
True.
And then the last one is we have an awful lot of oral presentations, poster presentations that you can look at throughout the course of the day. So take your time. But when it looks like that 60% of people really feel that listening to and interacting with interesting speakers is the #1 reason for them to attend this conference.
Yes. So that's good. That's good and very clear. So before we move on, Jean, of course we're very happy that you are here, and this is a wonderful conference, and there are many very interesting speakers. But it's also a bit sad because you must have imagined it a little different.
Absolutely, but the good news is we have 2 speakers that are here in the studio with us, and I think that's fantastic that we have the chairperson of Alzheimer Europe, the chairperson of the INTERDEM network.
Absolutely.
Both of them are able to come here, so at least it's not just the 2 of us. It's already great to be the 2 of us, but even more people are actually here as well.
We have a few live speakers, and that is wonderful because it's the last few weeks for you have been rearranging and changing your expectations.
Absolutely. We had hoped to have 15 speakers that were supposed to be coming, but unfortunately, due to a number of new restrictions imposed by a number of countries, the new variant has ultimately led to a lot of people not being able to come, but they're all going to join us remotely, so which is fantastic. We'll still have the same people, except that they won't be here in the studio.
But for you, it's been a little sad. We feel for you, but you managed to be shining and bright and happy when you arrived here.
Absolutely.
So resilient you are. Okay, let's move on to our live speakers. Yeah,
would be good.
Yes, and who are they, our live speakers?
So the first speaker that we have here today is Eva Holmerová, and I'm sure that she doesn't need any introduction at all. So Eva is here with us, and she's the chairperson of Alzheimer Europe, but also one of the founding members of the Czech Alzheimer Society. And of course, it's her that will do the official opening for us for this 31st Alzheimer Europe conference.
Great.
Thank you very much, Jean. Dear ladies and gentlemen, but above all, dear friends and colleagues, it is with great pride and pleasure that I can formally open the 31st Alzheimer Europe conference, which will take place virtually for the second time due to ongoing pandemic and the growing numbers of people being affected by COVID-19 infection in European countries. As we learned from the last year's event, our virtual conferences can be truly engaging and interactive, and I hope that you will make the most of the opportunities we provide to ask questions to presenters, provide your comments and thoughts, and participate in many polls and questions which we will be organizing during the 3 days of our conference. When we set the theme for this year's conference, Resilience in Dementia, Moving Beyond the COVID-19 pandemic, we wanted to focus on how people with dementia, their carers, health and social care professionals, Alzheimer's associations and the research community had adapted to the pandemic. As the chairperson of Alzheimer Europe, I have truly been in awe at how the European dementia community has risen to the challenge and identified new and innovative ways to support, care, and conduct research. Together we have learned to provide counseling and support via teleconferences, to use new technologies to connect people with dementia with each other, and of course with their families, to adapt routines in daycare and nursing homes, to protect residents and clients, and to conduct clinical trials and dementia research in new and engaging ways. Over the next days, we will hear from a multidisciplinary and multinational group of experts and researchers, and I really look forward to learning from other countries and organizations. The work of Alzheimer Europe would not be possible without an incredible group of people, partners and supporters. This richness and variety of experience and knowledge make our annual conference quite an exceptional networking and learning opportunity. This year we welcome over 600 participants from 38 countries who will be joining us for our second virtual adventure. As every year, I also wanted to single out the fantastic collaboration that Alzheimer Europe has developed with the INTERDEM network. This group of psychosocial researchers met earlier today with more than 100 participants, and you will have the opportunity to listen to their new chairperson, Professor Marjolein de Vugt, in this opening ceremony, as well as great number of the representatives who will share some of the priorities of the group and a number of projects they have coordinated. You will also hear from a number of key projects which Alzheimer Europe has been involved with, so please make sure to pay a visit to the sessions organized by Neuronet and visit the virtual booths of our sponsors and partners. Connecting researchers from different fields, disciplines, and specialties is a key aim of our conference. At the same time, our conference connects researchers with people living with dementia and their carers. And I am really delighted that 38 people who live with dementia will be attending this year, and that a number of them will play an active part in our conference. Shortly, you will hear from Chris Roberts, the chairperson of our European Working Group of People with Dementia, And you will also hear from other people with dementia as keynote speakers and participants in parallel sessions. The organization of our annual conference is truly a team effort. Let me therefore thank the members of the organizing and program committee who helped us in selecting the best abstracts to make this a really interesting and innovative event. Many thanks also are due to the health program of the European Union, which provides an operating grant for key activities of Alzheimer Europe, including our annual conferences. I also wish to thank our corporate conference sponsors, ABV, ADDI, the Alzheimer's Disease Data Initiative, Biogen, Roche, and Taurix Therapeutics for their incredible support. I really look forward to an information-packed 2.5 days. Enjoy our conference.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Eva. Wonderful. Yes, but we're gonna open for about 4 times now because there's somebody there, and is he in Wales?
Absolutely. So the next speaker actually for this conference, it's Chris Roberts. He will be joining us remotely, but he's also somebody it's absolutely important for us in Alzheimer Europe to make sure that this is not just a conference about people with dementia, it's a conference with people with dementia. So we're delighted to have Chris here. He is the chairperson of the European Working Group of People with Dementia, and an absolutely key partner for us as an organization.
So wonderful, wonderful that you are with us, Chris. Hi, how are you?
All good, thank you.
Good, good.
It's very warm here.
Is it warm, really?
Actually warm today, so that's lovely.
Wonderful. You can go ahead because you wanted to add something.
Thank you for the introduction. I'm very honoured to be here today to welcome everyone. As my position is chair of the European Working Group, my utmost thanks go to Jean and all the Alzheimer's Europe team for the hard work and supporting us during these really difficult times. I'd also like to thank and welcome everyone attending here today. I'm sure this is going to be another excellent conference, as usual. What trying times this has been for everyone, I think, with COVID, and continues to be. It's still affecting the world, its people, and its economies. I personally would like to send my utmost sympathy, condolences, and regards to everyone who's lost someone or been affected by this pandemic. This has been so hard on everyone, but especially for the old, the poor, and those who live with disabilities, both seen and hidden. It's been particularly hard for those removed from their homes and homelands by all the disputes, war, with and without dementia. It has also affected those living with dementia immensely. I know it did affect us. And it's very hard with the routines gone, even more social isolation and a huge lack of stimulation, all of which has affected the well-being, quality of life, and added, I think, to the increased progression of so many of us. In 2020 and continuing into this year, the European Working Group was unable to meet face-to-face, something we've never had to cope with before. So we've had to adapt to meeting in other ways. Some members have had little or no experience of previously coming together virtually and communicating in these different ways. But in order for us to contribute and to continue working as a group, we've had to do this. And it's become a lifeline to our more normality, these meetings. We use virtual platforms, working in smaller groups, but keeping the times to a minimum, as we all found it very difficult to concentrate for an extended period. It's such a different environment. But we managed to keep going. We adapted to these new ways, and we carried on with our important public involvement, with our contributions to various European projects, and more importantly, our advocacy work. From European level research right down to on the ground in our hometowns. This has given us great satisfaction and pride. Our group was able to prepare a symposium last year and again this year, and hopefully it will come across that we've worked hard on it. But I'd like to thank all the European group members from the previous 2 years, well, all the years, plus the current group, for their determination to continue to adapt, despite the difficult circumstances we've all found ourselves in. Mm-hmm. But our biggest contribution and appreciation, as always, as I said, is the Alzheimer's Europe staff for their support, but also the associations and societies that continually support us as well. So I think we will carry on adapting, finding new solutions, and with your assistance and support to continue to be able to live with dementia and COVID. So I think it's my favourite phrase, it's nothing about us without all of us. Welcome everyone to this conference.
Wow, thank you. Talking about resilience, huh?
Absolutely. I think it's the topic of the conference, but it's also important that we start by talking about highly affected people living with dementia.
Exactly, and working with the dementia and the routines changing, and you really clarified that. Thank you so much, Chris, Robert. Yeah. Thanks. And thank you all for entering comments, because you look good. That's what we learn.
That's always nice to hear. You can upvote that comment, of course.
You can upvote that, of course. You really look good. And we have somebody in Melbourne, Australia, watching at 11:06, and that they like greetings from Ireland, and that you have a beautiful, refreshed website.
I think that's really nice to hear, because we've just launched also a new website. So thanks very much. Go and visit it, because we're quite proud of the work that the whole team has done for the launch of our website.
Yeah. Yes. Well, her name's been mentioned before, Marjolein de Vugt. Let's move on to her, our professor and clinical researcher. Go ahead with your words of welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming to the Netherlands, my home country. And the first time you were here was about 20 years ago, in June 2002. I was a young PhD student then, and nervous for my first oral English presentation at the 12th Alzheimer Europe conference in Maastricht. With the conference motto, commitment to care. And it was a revelation to me that I met so many people who wanted to commit themselves to improve the quality of life of people with dementia, and that my research actually seemed to matter. So 2002 was also the year that for the first time the annual INTERDEM meeting coincided with the Alzheimer Europe conference. And since then, this has been a very important route for the INTERDEM network for dissemination of European psychosocial research in dementia. It is a great honor for me to stand here today at the opening ceremony for the first time as chair of the INTERDEM network. And I'm still working in Maastricht, but a lot has happened in those almost 20 years. Not only for me, but also for Alzheimer Europe, INTERDEM, and the people with dementia and their carers. And since 2002, we're not only 19 Alzheimer Europe conferences further, but also living and working in a different world with current difficult circumstances. Circumstances that challenge us, our resilience, our creativity, and more than ever requires our commitment to care. And so we do. In the first place, we all care for people with dementia and those surrounding them. We have learned in those past years that their voices are crucial to change perceptions and to combat stigma. Alzheimer Europe strengthens their voices to influence practice and policy in order to improve their quality of life, but also strengthens their voice in research. And INTERDEM has reaped the benefits of this, for example, by working closely with the European working group of people with dementia that Chris talked about. For example, in the INDUCT and the DISTINCT consortia on technology on dementia, led by Professor Martin Orell, who is one of our INTERDEM's board members. And INTERDEM has grown over the years, not only in members, but also in international collaborative actions, and its influence to shape the European psychosocial research agenda. And it has been the vision and initiatives of INTERDEM's founding mother, Professor Moniz Cook, her mentor, Professor Bob Vugt, and past president, Professor Mira Vernooy-Dassen, that underlie this success. But of course, also the commitment of a strong board of European leaders in this field and over 200 members in the network. I'm very proud that we not have only a senior network of researchers, but also a growing network of young leaders in our fields. in the INTERDEM Academy, led by Professor Frans Verheij and Dr. Vania Dasse. And these young researchers are our future, and INTERDEM feels commitment to foster their talents and to support them in their pathway to senior positions in the field. 15 years after my nerve-wracking Alzheimer Europe conference, a memorandum of understanding between INTERDEM and Alzheimer Europe was signed to highlight the willingness to collaborate and our common vision. INTERDEM is very happy with this joint commitment that is expressed again today in a great INTERDEM network event this morning, facilitated by Alzheimer Europe with over 100 participants. Members presenting their work, discussing in task forces, and discussing also new ideas for collaborations. Moreover, INTERDEM has several very interesting symposia during the conference that you can enjoy, including a wide range of topics such as career perspectives, psychosocial research innovations in the field of social care, health and technology, and innovations in educational programs. A big thanks to Professor Rabichata for organizing this. So the motto of this conference, Resilience in Dementia, moving beyond the COVID-19 pandemic. It was already expressed. It is kind of optimistic, but it gives us also hope for future times. What I do know is that there are many more Alzheimer Europe conferences to come, hopefully in collaboration with INTERDEM, but then with opportunities again for old-fashioned face-to-face encounters. So to conclude, Alzheimer Europe has inspired me as a young researcher, now as chair of INTERDEM. And perhaps, you never know, one day as someone with dementia. But what could be better than still having the chance to make my voice heard and to meet with old colleagues and friends who feel commitment to care. I hope you will enjoy the conference. Thank you, Alzheimer Europe, and thank you all.
Thank you so much, Marjolein. And you're still young. Was this nerve-wracking as well? Or are you joking?
Well,
so.
it was very nice to be here in person, actually.
Yeah, it was better, huh?
Yeah.
But you didn't look like your nerves were being wrecked. So, so is it true? Is it working well within Alzheimer Europe, working together with younger and more senior people?
Absolutely, because also again working with the INTERDEM network. First of all, congratulations also on your new position as chair of the group, and we really look forward to the continued collaboration. They have a lot of really interesting projects where it's basically exchange programs between PhD students, postdoctoral students, and it's basically students getting to know each other, working with each other across different cultures, across different languages. And I think it's a great way of not just having the fantastic speakers that are the renowned specialists, but also the young experts and researchers that are also joining.
And are they easily interested in the field? The Alzheimer and dementia field?
Yeah, well, I think it makes it more attractive if we have these academy workshops and master classes and schools. And also, I see more interest also now, new innovations, also including technology, come up. So that interests a broader range of people, but also it is necessary to work with all these different disciplines together to bring the field further.
Yes, so young people everywhere in all the fields. Thank you so much. That was really lovely. Something interesting here. Mark Wortman says that if we wave, if we look around or wave somewhere, that we might see his house. So Mark, wherever you are, I don't know what the right direction is, but you are somewhere very close by. That's great to know. And people keep telling us that they are watching and that they love the ceremony. So we'll have another word of welcome.
Absolutely, and this time, because everybody's used to having the chairperson of Alzheimer Europe, INTERDEM, and the European Working Group of People with Dementias.
Yeah, that was also complimented, that people say it's very important and good that we are really inclusive here. Yeah.
But this time we also are really happy, and we have the World Health Organization, the European region. We've been able, under these difficult circumstances, to develop good ties with them, and we have the regional director, Hans Kluge, who is also willing to give a word of opening and a word of welcome to the participants of this conference.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, public health champions, colleagues and friends. COVID-19 has affected all of us, but some more than others. Among them, those with pre-existing mental illnesses. The burden and loss in terms of mortality and morbidity have been particularly high among older people, especially people living with dementia. Before the pandemic, at least 14 million Europeans lived with dementia, the leading cause of dependency and disability among older people in the WHO European region. Dementia has physical, psychological, social and economic impacts on those affected, but also on their carers, their families and the society at large. It places a burden on economies with estimated costs of $300 billion per year in this region alone. Since the onset of COVID-19, the situation has deteriorated. The population in the European region is aging, and with this, the number of people with dementia in our region is growing. It is expected to double by 2030. The pandemic has also exposed flaws and shortcomings in various systems, including health, long-term care and support, social protection, finance and information sharing. WHO Europe has been working closely with Alzheimer Europe and other European partners to implement the Global Action Plan on the Public Health Response to Dementia 2017-2025, a key step towards ensuring physical, mental and social well-being for people with dementia, their carers and families. To address gaps in mental health services, the WHO Regional Office for Europe recently launched the Pan-European Mental Health Coalition, together with the Queen of Belgium, Queen Mathilde. And the Regional Committee adopted a framework for action on mental health 2021-2025. These were established in part to support member states in developing national plans for expanding early diagnosis, treatment and care for older adults with dementia. Globally, we are moving to accelerate international action to improve the lives of older people, their families and communities through the UN-mandated Decade of Healthy Aging. The decade serves as a reminder to consider older people's needs as well as the opportunities that aging brings when developing activities. Although much is being done to improve the quality of care for people with dementia, we are still lacking basic data on resources invested, services available, and on their recipients. Insights that would be invaluable to guide decision-making. To date, 33 of 53 European countries, or 62%, have contributed to the Global Dementia Observatory. I strongly appeal to the remaining 20 to join, in order to help track progress and improve the provision of services for people with dementia and their carers. A final thought to leave you with. Crises bring about change, and COVID-19 is no exception. Systemic flaws in our health systems have been exposed, leading to a radical rewriting of the rules. COVID-19 is, in other words, a seismic shift in terms of healthcare. Now is the time to implement changes that are long overdue, including in your field of work. With this in mind, I encourage you to think ambitious over the next 3 days. To think out of your comfort zone, to carefully consider which policies to shape and how. This platform provides you with a unique opportunity to do that, to learn from each other, compare playbooks, and to imagine how to improve mental health and well-being as never before in order to improve people's lives. I wish you fruitful, inspiring discussions and outcomes. Thank you very much.
And thank you so much. And I am here with the artist and you wanted to know her name all the time, and you said beautiful music in the chat, in the Ask area, lovely. Saskia Meijs, welcome. It's wonderful that you are here.
Thank you so much.
Playing live music,
Yes.
that really is great. The first part that you played when we entered the conference room was from Martin Fonse.
Yes.
Now he's been named National Composer of the Netherlands, and it had a title which is also really Dutch, Sealand Bridge.
Yes.
But you have a habit to work with Dutch composers.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Why is that, and what do you do?
Oh, I asked several years ago different composers to compose new music for viola solo, because there's not so much music for viola solo. For violin it is, but and he was one, and he's a good friend also. So.
Oh, good. And
Yes.
were all the composers already your friend?
Not all of them, but quite a lot actually.
Good. It's a good idea to ask people to compose for your instrument.
Yeah.
And knowing you. Wonderful. That's good that you did that. You are here because you play beautiful music, of course, but also because you have a personal connection to the theme, to Alzheimer. Yeah.
Yes. My mother suffered from Alzheimer. She got diagnosed in 2016. And then she actually more or less immediately moved to a home with care in Maastricht.
Aha.
And that's where and she was a musician. And my sister is a musician as well.
Wow.
Plays the violin. So my sister and me played quite a few concerts at her new home for everybody else there. So
And what we know is that the effect of music is extraordinary.
Yes.
Nothing like it, right?
No, and it's also really emotional to play there.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, for example, my mother, she was just not interested at all
in
in
music.
us, and then we were like, "Hi, Mom, we're your daughters. We're playing," and she was just sitting.
Really?
But there was one man, and he was just crying the whole concert, like for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And another woman, she was really sitting very still all the time. But when we started to play, she stood up.
Yeah.
And she started to dance like a flower.
Great.
And it was just beautiful to see.
This is funny. Your mother was not interested in music, even though the music is in your DNA.
Yes, and she was also a musician.
Exactly. You should say that she would be.
Yeah, but she was just, I don't know. It's part of the Alzheimer's also, because she was a bit shy, and because otherwise, and when people said to her, "Well, why your daughters are playing beautifully," and she said, "Yeah, that's they have it from me."
Okay, she was just cool with it.
Yes,
she knew this.
Yeah.
So kind of natural. All right. And what do you think that explains that huge effect of music on people with dementia?
Yeah, I think melody and rhythm is just a natural part of the human being. So you just relate to music. When you hear a rhythm, you're just automatically you start tapping your feet.
Yeah.
And or when you hear a melody, it stays in your brain somewhere. And it was also,
We have a strong memory for music, don't we?
yes.
Yeah.
And for example, my mother, on a certain moment, she couldn't talk anymore. But when I put a CD on, for example, Puccini aria, she started just to sing with it in perfectly Italian. And
Knew everything.
Yes. No
So
problem.
That's a kind of a safe place in the brain where things are being kept well. That's lovely, huh? And what do you do more with music and people with dementia now?
Well, I followed a postgraduate course at the Conservatory of Amsterdam in the beginning of this year. It's called a workshop leader, music and movement for people with dementia.
Wonderful.
So I'm now a certificated workshop leader.
Certified worship leader. But one lesson then to share. What is a main lesson you learned doing projects like that for us to use in our work?
Well, it's always possible to communicate with music. So when there's no communication possible in a way, you can also with movement or with touching or with singing. It's there. It stays there for quite a long time also.
Right. Yeah, that's just wonderful to know. Well, let's communicate through music. You're going to play another part.
Yes.
A Dutch composer again. Ernst Reiziger.
Yes.
Yeah. And what's it called?
Arpeggio.
Okay, so
it's also a kind of technique with your bow. So that's
okay. Well, let's just see. I'll take your microphone and you will play. Please go ahead, Saskia Meijs.